All right, that music's just not going to do because it is almost Christmas time. And damn it, we're going to have some Christmas music. You ready, Jessi?
Turn up the cheer.
Hey. Thank you so much for tuning in or clicking the link. I've been in radio for a long time. You saying tuning
Nobody
in.
tunes in anymore.
I know it. Thank you so much for clicking on this podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Jessi.
We're the Podcasting Dad, and this segment is Weird Wednesday, in which, as you can probably guess from the name, every Wednesday we talk about some weird-ish.
Yeah.
Today, of course, we're doing some Christmas-themed stuff. We want to continue doing different subjects, and Jessi has a really good idea that I can't wait to do in the future. We want to do diving into, like, the origins of nursery rhymes. That was a really cool idea, and I'm excited for us to do that in the future.
It'll ruin your life.
But this is actually our second take. So we were doing a podcast a few minutes ago talking about, like, creepy Christmas urban legends, and really what should have happened is I should have took time to research these, write them down, and told them in my own words. But I tried to cite the website and read them off the site, and it just was not working. So, alas, we're back to talking ghosts, which is funny to say. These are supposed to be scary ghost stories that I am reading with very cheerful music behind me. But nonetheless, let's cut that.
Is it the Ghost of Christmas Past?
No, this is the legend. The first one is the Legend of the Mistletoe Bride.
Oh.
So this story has been retold for centuries and has taken many different forms.
That's weird because I've never heard of it.
You don't know that yet. While the story's true origin is difficult to determine, many have come to believe that its roots are in the disappearance of Lord Lavell's bride at the Bramshill House in Hampshire, England.
England? Would you like a spot of tea?
A spot of tea? Our like British listeners are like, man, you guys.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Lord Lavelle, I hope I'm saying that right. Lovell? I'm going to say Lavelle.
Lavelle sounds right.
Right. Lord Lavelle was preparing to wed a young woman related to Sir John Cope, the owner of Bramshill House. This was around Christmas time, so mistletoe hung throughout the mansion, inspiring the wedding party to play a game. The young bride-to-be would hide somewhere in the mansion. The groomsmen would all seek her out, and whoever found her first would get to kiss her. It's kind of a weird game to play with your boys, soon-to-be bride.
Things were weird back in the day.
I'd say. So the bride went to hide, and the wedding party sought to find her. However, the minutes turned to hours, and they still could not find her. Eventually, the game turned terribly serious, as no matter where they looked, they could not find her. Not until 50 years later did Lord Lavelle, still seeking answers to his bride's disappearance, happen upon a secret closet in an upstairs room in the Bramshill house. Inside, he found a wooden chest sealed shut with a lock. Upon opening the chest, he found the nearly unrecognizable remains of his bride.
What? 50 years later?
That sucks.
What? So, like, somebody at the party did that?
No, I think, like, she went to hide in the chest, and then apparently maybe it just, like,
Closed
the latch
and it
got
locked.
closed. And
See, I was thinking like an actual lock, but that makes sense.
she's got to hold, like, the hide-and-seek world record, though. 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how long it took her to die. And why didn't she yell?
Probably like 2-3 days. Because what do they say? The general rule. I mean, it can change and varies per person, but like you can go like, what is it? 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, or something like that.
Well, dude, I wonder why she didn't yell. Well, even if she
it was a hidden closet, so
and
like
plus
they couldn't hear
it was probably
her.
in a mansion.
So the moral of this story
Don't hide in chests.
is like, don't be so extra to win. Like, just hide behind a door or something.
Dang. Good for you.
I mean, like I said, hide and seek champ, but, and of course I'm wearing contacts and they're starting to get to that point where they haze over.
Yeah.
You ever have that? You wear contacts?
I do not.
So you just walk around with bad vision all the time?
Yes, I walk around blind all the time.
How do you do that?
It's when I wear glasses and I can actually see things, it gives me a headache. I'm used to the way I see. Not to the way I should see.
Oh. So the brown lady of Raynham Hall has perplexed visitors and paranormal investigators for hundreds of years. Oh, and by the way, this is from Ranker.com to give credit. I should have said that in the beginning. This,
you got it. Better
this
late
is
than never.
Graveyard on Ranker. So just to give them credit. They wrote this. I'm just reading it. But back in the 1700s, owner Charles Townshend married a young woman named Dorothy Walpole.
I think it's Townsend.
Well, I thought it was Townsend, but there's an H between the S and the E.
Isn't Heather Townsend's name spelled like that?
I don't think it is. Look it up.
I'm pretty sure it has an H in it, but anyways.
So he married a young woman named Dorothy Walpole. While they lived happily together for some time in the manor, Townsend soon became paranoid that his new wife was being unfaithful to him. So eventually, driving himself mad with jealousy, he decided to hide her away in the hall, telling all of their friends and family that she had tragically passed away.
Come on.
She was forced to stay inside the mansion, allowed only to wander through its halls. Not long after, she did actually perish, never having left the hall after her husband had imprisoned her. Ever since her passing, people have witnessed the image of a woman in a tattered brown dress wandering the halls, and some have reported truly horrifying things. Like one visitor, unaware of the legend of the brown lady, approached a woman in the hall only to have her look at him with a glowing face, but where her eyes should have been, there were only empty sockets. Years later, after numerous other reported sightings, a photographer from Country Life magazine visited Raynham Hall to document it for an article. After snapping a photograph of the central stairwell, he saw within it an image of a hazy silhouette, and that's actually a very popular photo. Yeah, I can move it over here so you can see it. That's a very well-known. It's considered to be one of the most convincing something, I guess. Like they've analyzed it and it doesn't seem to be tampered with or something. So this one is called Alleged Fandoms Plagued a Brooklyn Home During Christmas Time. That's just not the holiday spirit. A few weeks before Christmas in 1878, Edward F. Smith was at his home in Brooklyn, New York, when the doorbell rang. He answered said door, but there was no one there. This soon became a nightly occurrence. The doorbell would ring only for him to find no one outside and no signs that anyone had been there at all. Growing frustrated, Smith sprinkled ash and flour along the path to the door, expecting to find footprints left behind, but when the substances were undisturbed, and the noise continued, no matter where he and his family stood around the house, the noises remained unidentifiable. Smith and his family were growing more concerned as the doorbell ringing turned to aggressive banging on the doors. Eventually, they contacted the police. The ringing and banging continued, and still no one was able to identify its source. One night, a brick suddenly flew through the window from outside, even though police officers were standing nearby and saw no one.
It was a ghost.
And they say ghosts can't hurt you. Although they investigated the home for some time, police were unable to identify the cause of the disturbances. Smith and those who witnessed the strange occurrences ultimately concluded that they must have been paranormal in nature.
What?
That's interesting. The banging on the door thing would just get old real quick. Like, I'm trying to sleep, ghost.
Just move. It's easy. It's like, it really isn't.
Can the spirits follow you?
Yeah.
So, like, they get attached to you, not a place. Can a ghost that's attached to a place lose its attachment to a place and then become attached to you?
I think they can. I think so. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I think so.
Interesting. So, moving on. You know who Anne Boleyn is, right?
Hold on. What?
You don't know who Anne Boleyn is, then?
Anne Boleyn?
Yes,
Or
not Anne Boleyn. Anne
Boleyn.
And I'm yeah.
No. Who's that? Who that? New phone. Who this? Anne Boleyn. I don't know you.
So, Hever Castle, which is nestled deep in the British countryside of Kent, was once home to the Boleyn family. Anne Boleyn, the most well-known member of the family, lived the early part of her life there before she married King Henry VIII. Within a few short years of her marriage, however, she was targeted by a dissident and gossip within the castle, accusing her of everything from witchcraft to adultery. Eventually, her husband formally accused her of these, and she was ultimately executed.
She was just in the wrong century.
Like,
you could get away with all that today.
yeah, I mean, like, what a crappy kind of husband, though.
Right?
Isn't it, like, for better or worse, sickness and health?
She's just trying to, like, live her life.
Witch or not. Whether she suffers from heartbreak or homesickness, Anne Boleyn's spirit is said to haunt the halls of her childhood home in Hever Castle. However, she allegedly only appears on one day of the year, which is Christmas Eve.
What? I wonder why.
Rumors persist that her somber specter is seen drifting silently over the picturesque bridge that spans the River Eden in the grounds of the home where she once knew much happier times.
Aww.
Right. What a crappy husband.
There's a lot of them.
So this one comes with an ad.
Oh, I've seen that picture.
Yeah, it says Hotel Bethlehem.
Oh, is that the Virgin
Bethlehem
Mary?
Is located in Pennsylvania. It's home to a number of chilling ghost stories, not the least of which centers around a young girl named Mary Yone. Born in 1866, Mary, or May, was raised on the stage, inspiring within her a love for singing and performing from a young age. Her talent gained her much attention, and eventually she found herself performing with great success on stages in Paris and throughout Europe. She even caught the attention of a wealthy lord who quickly married her and made her a member of the British aristocracy. We getting fancy.
I don't even know half these words.
Tragically, her success led her down a dangerous path. Her marriage fell apart after the lord who swept her off her feet went bankrupt, and she went on to marry an American soldier who robbed her of much of her wealth. Oh,
asshole.
Those damn Americans. At the time of her eventual passing, reports claim that she recalled her years in Bethlehem as the best of her life. To this day, Hotel Bethlehem's, I don't know if it's Bethlehem or Bethlehem, because it's Bethlehem's, I guess, because it's an E instead of an A in ham. But Bethlehem's visitors claim to see apparitions of a young Mary Yone dressed in elegant attire and either singing at the piano or pacing next to the Christmas tree. Some even claim to have heard her faint but recognizable voice singing one of her favorite songs.
And what would that be?
Probably like Back That Ass Up by Juvenile.
I was thinking Use a Hoe by Ludacris.
Girl, you looks... How would a girl sing that? Girl, you looks good. Won't you back that ass up? Sing it.
That sounds perfect.
But you sing it.
I don't know that song.
You
Girl,
know,
you look fine once you back that ass up.
I was going to say, you know you've danced to that. You know you've danced to that. You done back that ass up. Anyways, this one is taking us to Alcatraz. You're familiar with Alcatraz,
I am. That's a fun place, a fun getaway.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah, totally. I escaped.
Take the kids there like every spring. Alcatraz, the isolated penitentiary located in the middle of California's San Francisco Bay, closed down in 1963, but tales of those who were once held on the island continue to haunt generations of onlookers and visitors. Often referred to as the Rock, Alcatraz has gained a reputation for unexplainable and shocking ghost encounters, and one of the most notable was recounted during Christmas. Back in the 1940s, while the facility was still in operation, the warden at the time, Warden Johnston, decided to throw a small Christmas party at his boarding house on the island. During the gathering, a few of the guards began retelling the story of a phantom figure who appeared before them wearing a gray suit, brimmed cap, and sporting mutton chop sideburns. All the guards could do was stare at the ghostly figure in shock, and before they had a chance to move, the room suddenly turned very cold, and the fire in the Ben Franklin stove was extinguished. But just as suddenly as he had appeared, the phantom man vanished.
That's a scary place. You know they do tours there?
I know. I want to go on one.
Me too.
I think it'd be awesome. And being that you're a little more, I don't know if clairvoyant would be the right word for it, but being you're more sensitive to the paranormal, you probably would really get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
You have spirit guides be in your head like, why are you here?
Right.
No.
And I just would not listen.
You know what? We're out of here. We tried.
Peace out.
Stupid humans.
You can stay here with your prison inmate ghost.
This house is a prison.
On planet bullshit.
In the galaxy of this sucks camel. All right. The ghost. Actually, wait. The ghost of the Headless Horseman allegedly haunts
here we go.
Roos Hall every December. Roos Hall, a mysterious mansion in the English countryside, is rumored to be one of the most haunted places in England, located just outside the small town of Beccles in the county of Suffolk. The mansion has accumulated plenty of ghost stories ever since it was first built in the 16th century. One of the most horrifying stories is that of the Headless Horseman. Many people may be familiar with this legend, but at Roos Hall, it takes on a life of its own. Numerous visitors to Roos Hall have reported a man on a horse riding towards them on the road, only to discover that he has no head. Allegedly, on Christmas Eve, the headless man is often seen clattering down the driveway with his phantom coach and 4 horses. And this is only the beginning of the Roos Hall's ghostly stories. Other rumors claim that there are strange markings inside the hall known as the Devil's Footprints, and some have even reported seeing a girl watching them from the windows.
The Devil's Footprints. What might that look like? Like hooves?
I would imagine hooves.
That is terrifying.
Maybe he has really long toenails.
Like Schmidt.
Ugh, Schmidt. I love the new girl.
That is so scary, but like, is that not the same Headless Horseman from the Halloween thing?
No, I think it is. Well, no, it's like its own Headless Horseman, but I mean, I think it could be.
How creepy would it be if the horses were headless too? It would be extra
Like,
creepy.
how does anybody know where they're going? There are no eyes on anything in motion. Like the Headless Horseman, you could think, oh, well, his horse guides him. And this Headless Horseman,
Well, he had pumpkin head. He has eyes in his pumpkin head.
What was that? What iteration was that?
Iteration?
Yeah, what version?
I don't know. The only one
I had a sip of drink in my mouth, by the way. I don't just suddenly go random redneck every now and again.
You got like...
What version was that? Come here, Jessi.
I need a cup to spit my back
I
in.
need some dip. On top of my dip.
I ain't got enough in there yet.
You know what's better than dip?
What?
More dip.
Howdy.
Hey, sis. Anyways.
What were we talking about? The
Headless Horseman's pumpkin. Which version?
Iteration. I don't know. There's more than one version.
You talking about the Johnny Depp one?
There's a Johnny Depp version of Headless
Jessi.
Horseman Headless.
You've never seen Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. I mean, like, this movie's old, almost as old as we are.
Apparently not. I don't understand how.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go home, you better watch Sleepy Hollow.
I'm going to laugh when you laugh and you spit Dr. Pepper all over your fancy little thing you got there.
Joke's on you. I swallowed already. Your kids listening to this. Get your mind out the gutter. So,
you said it. You knew what you were saying.
I mean, I didn't until I said it, but then I was like, Jessi's totally going to turn that into something. All right, so we got time for one or two more Christmas era ghost stories. So let's see, which one do we want to? I mean, they're all. Let's see. One group of ghosts from the Stark family has created quite a legacy for themselves. The Starks left behind numerous spirits that are now haunting a Victorian home in Michigan, and visitors have reported numerous sightings, particularly around Christmas. One such specter, Vera Stark, was well known in life for her like being very eccentric.
Okay. Vera. Of course she was. Her name was Vera.
Right. And she seems to have brought those with her to the afterlife. Those who claim to have seen her ghost say she appears in the front yard of the home wearing only a fur coat and picking flowers, just as she did in life.
Wait, who picks flowers in her fur coat? Because it's too cold for flowers.
Well, and naked.
Oh.
Like she's wearing only a fur coat.
She was very eccentric.
Look at that ghost's butt. It's all pale. So pale I can see through it.
Oh,
all right, Jessi.
All right, let's keep on writing.
In addition, the ghost of one of the Stark daughters who suffered a terrible mishap in the mansion's gymnasium can allegedly be seen walking through the halls of the home. The current owners of the home have even attempted to open it up to historical tours, but they apparently ran into problems. Our spirits did not care for it being open to the public, and they just went completely wild.
Yeah, because they're naked.
Well, then that's why you leave it open. Like, then people come and they see the stuff for themselves. Like,
maybe people were getting hurt, and it was a liability.
Yeah, I don't really know that they have, like, insurance on ghost injury.
No, they should, though. I mean, come on. It's the 21st century.
Yeah. All right, we got time for one more.
Una mas.
In England, one particularly twisted ghost story harkens back to a tragic event that occurred one Christmas Eve in the late 18th century. According to the legend, there was once a fearsome highwayman known only as Gilbert. Because when I think of fearsome men, the name Gilbert's the first thing I think of. I say that, and it's like if we can go back in time, he'd whoop my ass. It's like, Gilbert. Gilbert shall thrash thine ass.
Do not wield your sword at me, Gilbert.
He would wander up and down one of the town's main roads. One evening, the night before Christmas, a man and his daughter were traveling in a horse-drawn coach when Gilbert apprehended them. The daughter was able to exit the coach, but before her father could disembark, the horse became startled and bolted down the road with the man and his coachman in tow. The two men struggled to get the horses back under control so they could go back and find the man's daughter, who had been left behind with Gilbert. However, when they arrived back at the scene, she was nowhere to be found. Instead, they saw Gilbert hunched over on the ground with a dagger in his side.
Oh.
Rumor claims that once the coach took off down the road, Gilbert revealed to the girl that he was the one who took her brother's life sometime before.
What?
Thrown into a rage by the revelation, she stabbed him and fled the scene. Local legends say that Gilbert was buried by the side of the road, and every Christmas Eve he can be seen wandering the same road, waiting for the coach with a man and his daughter to pass by again. That story had a lot of twists and turns.
Girl power.
In the sense of, like, I'm still not 100% sure exactly what happened in that story.
Yeah, did they ever find the girl?
No.
I need to know this.
It says she was nowhere to be found. I don't know if they found her later, but...
Maybe she fled because she killed a man.
Mama.
Oh, wait, no. Just killed a man. Is that how it goes?
Pulled the trigger, now he's dead. Yeah.
Put the gun against his head.
Yeah. Pull the trigger, now he's dead. Mama. Yeah.
Beautiful singing voice.
I know.
Queen.
I'll never get tired of the compliments.
Queen better look out.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they do have an opening.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you know some Christmas scary stories, please leave them in the comments section below. Sorry this was a little short, but it is that time of the year, and Christmas is here, and everybody's busy, and all of that jazz, but we just didn't want to go a week without having a podcast. So there you are. Next week, I think, would be a great time to dive into the fairy tale backgrounds, like the backstories behind famous fairy tales. We'll go through at least 3 or 4 like popular fairy tales, and we will dive into what everything means, because we were always told as kids they had very dark meanings.
Yeah. I see some on like TikTok now. I can't remember any, but also like songs from today too. But they're all like super creepy. I can't believe that we sing them. All of them are creepy. Like all of them. None of them are good.
Ashes, we all fall. And I think I know where that one comes from, but I'm not going to say it. We'll wait
They're
until
going to
the
save
thing.
it. Well, I'm going to find some of my favorite ones, and maybe I'll read a couple too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We can take turns.
Well, just like the Rockabye Baby and like
in the treetop.
Like, why is your baby in a tree?
Right? And you just, like, it's going to fall, but you say it so nonchalantly, like it's normal for that to happen.
When the wind blows, the cradle will fall. Like, ain't nothing but a thing.
Ain't nothing but a thing, baby.
Yes, get your baby out that tree.
Let me try your method here.
Listen here, Jessi. Come up there and get that baby. Don't spit into my mic.
How much did you put in there?
Like just a drop. Just like, yeah, well, I'm saying, yeah.
How are you doing that?
Oh, I just hold it here.
Where do you hold it?
In my mouth.
Like in the front or the back?
In the bottom. In my jaw. In my jaw. In my jaw.
My baby in the tree. Okay.
Your baby needs what?
I cannot afford to drink on all
right.
of this expensive equipment.
Last thing, and then we're wrapping this up. Give me a song to sing.
Use a hoe. Do a Christmas song. Jingle bells.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh.
You almost got it on it.
Almost. It was like a tiny little drop got on my keyboard.
You almost effed up, man.
I did. I almost effed it in the A, but alas, here we are, and we're all okay.
That rhymed.
And I won't even try.
Put it in a song.
But hopefully you enjoyed tonight's podcast. I'm looking to have Jessi on the next, or at least one of the next episodes of Conversational Questions. If you haven't heard that one, check it out. It's a completely different podcast in which we use table topics, which is like these cards that have these really interesting questions that a lot of offices have them, and like you might find them in like interviews for jobs because they just really make you think. They're like, they're simple questions, but they're like, it's not just your easy to answer question.
Yeah.
Like it might say, what's the difference between living and existing? Or it'll be like,
that was a good one.
It might say, why do we miss people the most once they're gone? Things like that just really make you think and conversate. And they actually work really well with the podcast. So hopefully we'll have Jessi on the next one or two of those. But in the meantime, please go to our Patreon. Check it out for only like $1 a month.
Not the sweater.
I was not going to wash this thing either because I feel like it'll fall apart
It
if
won't.
I wash it.
You'll be fine. Just hit it with a Tide pen. You'll be all right.
Hit it with some hot water. Hot water gets a lot of stains out. Like if you go while the stain's fresh, put hot water on your finger and dab it.
Good to know.
Just dab it.
It.
It'll come out. Just put the shirt down and dab over top of it.
Yeah. Lalo did that one time. He was cleaning up some soda off the carpet.
Lalo is Jessi's son.
Yeah, sorry, my oldest son. And he was rubbing it, right? And I told him to dab it, and he literally dabbed the carpet, and it was so funny.
But the question is, did it work?
No, but that's okay, because funny wins.
Funny always wins.
Funny always wins.
But check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastingdead. Again, this equipment is not cheap, so it definitely helps us to have you there supporting us while we continue to give you something to listen to.
Yep.
But time to get up out of here. I'm going to take my daughter to see some Christmas lights.
We're doing that too. Are you going to? We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, hey, I'm Justin.
I'm Jessi.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.